Went away. Hey, everybody. Welcome to this week's Star Report. I'm Jason. I'm here at New Dimensions Crystals and Reiki in downtown Brenham, Texas, right next to the radio station, KTX 106 or KDHI 1280 AM. Yeah, let's jump right into it. This Star Report is for 8/28 through 9/3. That is, excuse me, September 3rd. Apparently, there's too much there's too much smoke or sweetness or fake chemicals in this instance. I just let. That's what happens when you buy fancy boxes that look cool and have cool sayings. It is a nice scent. It does what it says it does, but that is intense. All right, moving right along. It is again August 28th, and this is August 28th through November 3rd's report. Jump right in with the sun. The sun has actually been kind of calm. Has lots of sunspots, lots of things it could be doing. There was a minor CME that impacted yesterday. So if you were feeling wonky or that's lasted into the day, higher anxiety, slowed down tech issues, the internet's stupid and slow for lots of people. Also, that was we're ending Mercury retrograde. So there's just that last little bit of haze of, oh, let's see if all this stuff works and goes back online and communication kind of things. So that minor impact wasn't that big of a deal, caused a minor geo-electric storm. Sometimes people with spectrum disorders, mental maladies, that's a good word. I was like, it's not disabilities, or chronic illnesses might have had a flare-up during those kinds of impacts. There was a large plasma release that came off of the sun, but that went to the, as we're looking at the sun, it went to the left. And so that is not going to impact the Earth, and there are no immediate coronal holes. There are some smaller plasma filaments that are facing the Earth that could release, but they don't look like they're that important. Like I said, at the beginning of the report, the Mercury retrograde has ended or is ending today, starting to move direct, right? Planets don't stop on a dime. It's not like it's digital, but as we go around, it sort of is frozen and then now is starting to move direct today. So yesterday would have been the end of Mercury retrograde, but of course it doesn't go direct until it starts to actually move direct over 24 to 48 hours. So that's happening today, which means that it only leaves us in 4 retrogrades, at least till the end of the week. And that is going to be Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, and Chiron. We are currently in the alchemical sign, meaning the sign of the zodiac, which is corresponding in a physical form in the body, which is the alchemy of the physical form and how astrology works on that. We're in Virgo, which is going to be affecting the womb for those who have them, and then the bowels, right? So sort of the ability to sort of process energy and or feed the inner self, or something that might be growing in a womb. And then also the energy of the solar plexus, which is really the sort of nerve endings, how the spiritual energy gets to everything that's in the gut or below the rib cage. So that's cool. Yeah, is that all Virgo does? I think that's all Virgo does. We're also approaching the Analema, which that should be happening on Friday. But that's just a reminder that as you take a picture of the sun every day from the same spot in the sky, it makes a big figure 8 or an infinity sign, and then it crosses at certain points. So it will cross on, what did I say Thursday was? Yeah, Friday, excuse me, the 30th. And that's just sort of note that we are preparing for winter, right? And so the body will start to do things to prepare itself to be healthy through not necessarily starvation, but when there's less to eat and or the sun starts to go away, right? So we have to generate our own inner power starting at the end of August, so that we can get prepared to actually live on less sun. Interesting kind of point of view of what the Analema does with that. The planetary alignments we talked about last week started Monday, maybe? Yeah, Monday, I believe. And they'll be in alignment until Friday or Saturday. Those planetary alignments, you can just go pick the direction. I don't know where you are in the country, but it's easy to find Mars. It's red. Look for Mars and then a bunch of planets that are in alignment with it in the sky. That's going to be Neptune, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus. And that's really going to be sort of affecting, um, enabling, uh, making personal and cultural, as in group consciousness things, sort of happen around consciousness. What is the collective consciousness aware of? What does it want to let go of? Right. Sometimes that seems like clashing or inconsistencies or even anger when we sort of understand stuff like that. Mercury with the intellect and, of course, communication and travel. Mars, action and assertiveness, right? And of course, these could, I'm saying the positive things, but you could also have the negative occurrences of this, right? So, Mars, war, right? Action. And this could be ending things that need to be ended, but having a fight to do it rather than having a conversation, right? So, these things could happen that way. Jupiter, growth and expansion, right? And so, negative growth of expansion sometimes is growth overgrowths in the body, which are tumors and stuff like that, right? So there's just sort of this, you need to be in alignment so that these things can align you to the higher potential of these, not the negatives of these, right? So you really want to be, the way to be that way is to be open to change and growth rather than anxious or desirable to return to a less anxious or less intense past where the energy seemed to be normal but was just probably hidden more below the surface. Also, Saturn, time and boundaries. Um, Time is doing weird things. Sometimes it's like a week goes by and you're like, it felt like an hour. So time's doing odd things. Boundaries, right, is really sort of readjusting where you are and your relationship to others and the group consciousness. And then Uranus, sudden changes. You know, oh my gosh, all of a sudden everything I wanted is available to me. Do I have the courage to choose it kind of energy? But also, Uranus, sudden changes could be, oh, everything seemed fine, and all of a sudden we're in a revolution. So just an awareness, right? It's kind of like choose your own adventure when you sort of know your own boundaries and know the divinity and eternity of your own soul. It's a lot easier to interact with these things rather than I'm a physical body and all these things matter. So pay attention to that. Leads us into today, Wednesday, the 28th of August. I was like, I don't see time's messing with me already. I start talking about time not making sense, and then I can't remember what day it is. These are the kinds of things that happen when you are aware, right? And then you need to find alignment and then your own boundaries of who you are within this greater energy. Yeah, so the 8th, 828, 7 days until eclipse season starts, right? So there's not an eclipse in 7 days, but the eclipse season, like lots of seasons that we have, there's like a 2 to 3 week entry, um, prequel, priming of the energy for the things to happen. The lunar eclipse happens on September the 17th. And so we'll be in that pre shadow a week from today. Of course, Mercury goes direct today, or is fully direct today. We'll figure out how that goes. You'll feel it. And Mercury going direct today really is your motivations become clear, right? So what the heck are you doing and why are you doing it, right? And so you sort of come to these conclusions that maybe your point of view of what you thought you were doing has a different meaning to it, which may be deeper, better, or it might be something like, oh, I don't need to do that anymore because that's a wrong meaning according to who I believe myself to be right now. Um, and then sort of the energy of the day also, along with that Mercury direct and understanding true purpose and stuff like that, you should be making a list of what you want the eclipse season to help you release and get rid of. It's a good practice to sort of meditate upon and be like, what is it that I no longer need, right? And sometimes this is almost like a spring cleaning. What kind of clothes do I not need to wear anymore? They don't fit my body. They don't fit my attitude. I don't ever wear them. So why are they taking up space in my reality? Those kinds of things are the energy you want to be thinking about today, Wednesday. Leads us into tomorrow, Thursday, the 29th. Um, Really, Thursday, you want to spend looking at sort of the shift that you made or the things that you've changed during the month of August. And that's really sort of the Mercury retrograde arc, right? What did you sort of change and transformations did you go through? It should be Mercury should be full direct, and then how you're going to be feeling, depending on what the sun does, you should be feeling lighter, that you've actually a made the changes, b they felt like good changes, and that you have energy or extra energy to keep moving forward and doing and being this new thing, right? So that's a lighter. um Sometimes this can be experienced as an aloofness, like I just feel so light, I don't know what to do, right? And so some people might experience that freedom as a lack of drive, but right, and they'll sort of feel like stagnant. But it really is that you were driven by something that you no longer needed, and now you have this choice, and it's not an anxiety that's like, oh, I got to keep doing this, or this drivenness to like, oh, this needs to be completed, right? Because you're not connected energetically to that completion, because you're a different person, and that completion doesn't have the same meaning in what you sort of let go during Mercury retrograde. That sounds like a deep Thursday. Friday, um, the 30th. Really, just try to get into the habit on Friday of meditating if you're not already, but really meditating for the purpose of not finding your guides or anything like that, but just sort of alignment. Who am I, and how can I vibratorily in my physical form align to that and sort of integrate? An integration is sort of make them a part of you. It's once a habit becomes something that you do already, you don't think of it as a habit. It's just how you are. You want to think about how you can move these new things you discovered about yourself during Mercury retrograde into an integration, that they're just part of who you are, and that those are creating an expansion, right? This isn't I've made it to the mountaintop. This is I've made it to a resting place, and I need to plot my course of continuing to climb up the mountain of living, consciousness, spiritual awakening, all those kinds of things is the energy of Friday. And then Saturday the 31st, 2024, the shop will be closed on Saturday. Just an FYI for those of you in the Burnham area watching the show. So I'll be closed on Saturday. Saturday will be a 22 master day. I'll be off being the master of my universe. And so, really, the energy of Saturday is even though all these things have been made new, right? There's this new you still have mastery of yourself. And so that's kind of like you might be feeling the need or the desire to be apprehensive that you don't know how this new you works. But that uh, despite that, or probably instead of that, you should understand that you are the master of this. So the reason everything is new is because you've gained mastery over the self, or more mastery over the self. Not that you're completely mastered the self, but that sort of understanding and that insight is that even the newness, you will still have mastery of self, and therefore can make it through and co-create with the group consciousness, the higher awareness, the allowance of the soul to sort of guide the way kind of energy. So that's a good ending to August, the 31st, Saturday. Moves us into Sunday, September the 1st. Um, you might sort of feel a lot of overstimulation and hyper aware as you come online and have this mastery of self, right? So that energy of the last day, and then moving into September, and then of course the Analima was happening on Friday, right? So this shift into it's kind of like packing for a trip, right? So if we're creating our own energy or moving into winter where the solar energy is less than it usually is, then this overstimulation is that sort of last minute um, anxiousness we get before a trip. Have I packed everything? What if this happens? What if that happens? Right. And so there's a couple of things. You have the gifts and energy within the self, no matter if you didn't bring any bags. However, whatever you would like to do to prepare, you might be becoming hyper aware of that, right? So this, I won't call it an anxiety feeling, but it's going to be a high energy feeling, like two things. Did I get everything I need? And the excitement for the ability to test out your skills, right? So it's kind of like if you got golf lessons and all of a sudden you get to play against all your friends who haven't had golf lessons, right? You might be slightly better than they remember you. That's the kind of energy that's going to be happening September 1st, that Sunday. Leads into Monday, 9/2, September 2nd, 2024. That is when Uranus goes retrograde. And so we'll be back into the 5 planetary retrogrades by Monday. Um, and so Uranus is really just, that idea of change, right? So uh, the alignment sort of ends on Friday, Saturday, right? And then Uranus goes retrograde and sort of helps you sort of imbibe and implement all of that change. I didn't check to see how long it was going to be in retrograde. Bad me. And then also on Monday, big stuff happening Monday. Pluto moves back into Capricorn, right? So Pluto's been going between Aquarius and Capricorn, so it'll be in Capricorn. And what that's going to bring to light is sort of just unhealthy habits and relationships come up to be cleared, right? So if you're wondering, hey, should I keep doing this? It's going to become clear on Monday, and probably throughout the retrograde. Hey, here's another habit you can get rid of. Do you have to continue to buy these kinds of shoes? Do you have to continue to drive this route to work, right? Is there a better way? Could you carpool? Could you not go to that job? All those kinds of things happen or start to come into possibilities on Monday, which is bleeding right into more energy like that. Tuesday, the 3rd of September. Did I skip a day? No, didn't. Sure feels like I skipped a day. It's like, is that already September? It's like the year's almost over. Tuesday, September the 3rd, 2024 is a new moon. And really, this new moon is going to be challenging you, asking you, how can you improve your physical health? This isn't a spiritual, energetic kind of health. This is really, how can you improve how your physical form um, manages and filters and enacts this spiritual energy that you're now in contact with, that we're sharing as a planet as it rises, and a sense of energy start to really feel the cosmos, right? And then if you've already been on a physical journey, right, how effective are those things, right? If you took out all carbs, or if you went carnivore, or if you went vegan, right, how are those health changes that you've made to be this way, are they still effective? Can they be augmented? Can they be upgraded? And just sort of Tuesday is really going to be an adjustment period. Maybe you've been drinking 6 liters of water and that's too much. Maybe you've been taking 35 vitamins every morning and you probably only need 3. It's just sort of testing out, is there an accumulation of things that you've done to your body that can be adjusted, and other things can be added, right? So this doesn't have to be necessarily just what can I not do, but what can I do different or more, or stuff like that. And so that'd be the energy of Tuesday, and that will be the end of this week's report. Of course, I'm always here most of the time at New Dimensions Crystals in Reiki, downtown Brenham, Texas. If you're feeling wonky and none of this is working for you and you need to actually experience a session, newdimensionscrystals.com, and you can book one of those online, usually all day Monday and Tuesday. If no time is available, it means it's either booked or I've marked it off and am not in the country. But usually before and after the retail shop is open, which is Wednesday through Saturday, you can go 9 to 11 or 5 to 7 is an opening for sessions during that if you need to be coming in during the week. And then on the weekend, obviously on Saturday before and after work. Nothing ever happens on Sunday. Nothing ever happens on Sunday, but there's no services to get on Sunday. So if that's the only day you can make it, I apologize for not being available. I think that's everything, everybody. Until next time, many blessings.